Right now, millions of people are sitting in therapy offices, talking about their childhood, trying to figure out why they feel anxious all the time. And look, therapy has its place. But what if the real reason you can't stop worrying has nothing to do with your past, your relationships, or your mindset? What if the answer isn't in your head at all, but hiding in your bloodstream? That's what we're getting into today. 5 physical, measurable, fixable reasons your body is generating anxiety. Not a single one requires a therapist's couch. These are biological triggers that most doctors never test for, most therapists never consider, and most people suffer through for years without ever connecting the dots. Before we go further, let me be clear. Psychological anxiety is real. Trauma is real. But this isn't about that. This is about the massive number of people who feel anxious for no apparent reason, no major stressor, no traumatic event. Just this constant low-grade sense that something bad is about to happen. That racing heart at 2 a.m. That tension in your chest when you're just sitting on the couch watching television. If that sounds familiar, your body is probably screaming at you. You've just been looking in the wrong place for answers. Let's start by understanding what anxiety actually does to your physiology. When you're anxious, your body shifts into what's called sympathetic dominance. That's the fight-or-flight branch of your nervous system. Your heart rate increases. Your digestion slows down or stops entirely. Cortisol floods your bloodstream. Adrenaline spikes. Your muscles tense up. Your pupils dilate. Every system in your body is preparing you to either fight a predator or run from one. The problem? There's no predator. You're lying in bed. You're driving to work. You're eating dinner with your family. But your internal chemistry doesn't know that. As far as your nervous system is concerned, you're in danger. Here's what's wild. There's actually a way to measure this. It's called heart rate variability, or HRV. You can track it with certain smartwatches and chest strap monitors. HRV measures the variation in time between each heartbeat, and it tells you exactly how much your sympathetic nervous system is dominating. Someone can look perfectly calm on the outside, sitting still, breathing normally, but their HRV data reveals their internal state is absolute chaos. Their body is running on full stress mode, foot slammed on the gas pedal, even though nothing external is happening. That disconnect between how you look and how your body is actually functioning is one of the most overlooked problems in modern health. So what's driving this? Let's get into the 5 physical causes. Number 1, blood sugar instability. This is the big one. This probably accounts for more unexplained anxiety than anything else on this list, and almost nobody talks about it properly. Here's the mechanism. Your brain cannot store fuel. Unlike your muscles, unlike your liver, your brain has no reserve tank. It depends entirely on a steady supply of glucose from your bloodstream. When your blood sugar drops, even slightly below optimal range, your brain interprets that as a survival threat, and it responds accordingly. Your adrenal glands release cortisol and adrenaline, not because you're stressed about work, not because you're overthinking your relationship, because your brain literally thinks it's running out of energy. That adrenaline surge is your body's emergency protocol to signal your liver to dump stored glucose back into the blood. It's a rescue mechanism. But from your perspective, it feels exactly like a panic attack, racing heart, sweaty palms, a sense of impending doom. Sound familiar? Now here's where it gets worse. Think about what most people do when they feel that crash. They reach for something sugary, a candy bar, a soda, a piece of fruit. And yes, the blood sugar comes back up. The anxiety fades temporarily. But what happens 30 to 60 minutes later? It crashes again, harder this time, because that sugar spike triggered a massive insulin response, which drives your blood sugar right back down below where it started. This is the blood sugar roller coaster, and it's one of the most common patterns in the modern diet. You eat sugar or refined carbs, insulin spikes, blood sugar drops, adrenaline kicks in. You feel anxious. You eat more sugar to cope, and the cycle repeats, day after day, year after year. Meanwhile, you're sitting in a doctor's office being told you have generalized anxiety disorder, and here's a prescription. I want you to think about something for a second. How many arguments between couples happen right before dinner? How many kids get labeled as having behavioral problems when they're really just riding a blood sugar crash? How many people are medicating a nutrition problem? Drop a comment if you've ever noticed your anxiety disappear after eating. That's not a coincidence. That's your clue. The fix is straightforward, but requires commitment. Cut the refined sugar and processed carbohydrates. Replace them with quality protein and healthy fats. These foods provide steady, sustained energy without triggering the insulin roller coaster. Your blood sugar stabilizes, your adrenals calm down, and that background hum of anxiety, it starts to dissolve. Not because you changed your thinking, because you changed your fuel. Going low carb has a cascade of other benefits too. You lose the constant hunger. You drop excess weight. Your skin clears up. Your energy stabilizes throughout the day. All from addressing the same root cause. Number 2, sleep deprivation. This one seems obvious, but the connection to anxiety is more direct than most people realize. When you don't sleep well, your cortisol levels stay elevated the next day. That's not metaphorical. That's measurable, documented biochemistry. Elevated cortisol creates irritability, worry, and a heightened stress response to things that normally wouldn't bother you. You know those days where everything feels like too much? Where small problems feel enormous? That's cortisol talking. But here's the layer most people miss. Poor sleep and blood sugar problems are deeply connected. When you go to sleep, your body needs to maintain stable blood sugar for 7 to 8 hours without any food intake. That job falls to your liver. Your liver is supposed to slowly release stored glycogen throughout the night to keep your brain fed. But if your liver is already overtaxed from dealing with blood sugar instability during the day, it can't do this job properly. So what happens? Around 1 to 4 in the morning, your blood sugar dips too low. Your body panics. It fires off adrenaline to force the liver to release emergency glucose. And now you're wide awake at 3 a.m. with your heart pounding, staring at the ceiling, wondering why you can't sleep. That's not insomnia in the traditional sense. That's a metabolic problem wearing the mask of a sleep disorder. You fix the blood sugar. You fix the sleep. You fix the sleep. You fix a massive chunk of the anxiety. They're all connected, one system feeding into the next. Number 3, vitamin B1 deficiency. This one flies completely under the radar. And it shouldn't. It might be the fastest fix on this entire list. Vitamin B1, also called thiamine, is one of the most critical nutrients for your nervous system. It's essential for nerve signal transmission, energy production in brain cells, and the synthesis of neurotransmitters that regulate mood and calm. Without adequate B1, your nervous system runs without insulation. Signals misfire. Your stress response becomes hair trigger sensitive. You feel this persistent, buzzing nervous tension that you can't quite explain or shake. Here's what makes B1 deficiency so sneaky. It gets depleted by the exact things most people consume daily. Refined sugar burns through B1. Alcohol destroys it. Caffeine drains it. Processed grains strip it out. So the standard modern diet is a B1 depletion machine. The clinical response to B1 supplementation can be almost shockingly fast. People with that wired, tense, can't relax feeling have reported the anxiety dissolving within minutes of taking a quality B1 supplement. Not hours, not days, minutes. That speed of response tells you something important. It tells you the anxiety wasn't psychological, it was nutritional. The nervous system was starving for a specific nutrient, and the moment it got it, the symptom disappeared. The clue here is simple. If you take B1 and your anxiety noticeably reduces within a short window, you've found your cause. It's worth testing. A quality B1 supplement, specifically the fat-soluble form called benfotiamine or thiamine, costs almost nothing and carries virtually zero risk. Number 4, stimulant overload. Caffeine is the obvious one here, but it's not the only player. Caffeine directly stimulates the sympathetic nervous system. In moderate amounts, most people handle it fine. But there's a threshold, and it's different for everyone, beyond which caffeine stops giving you energy and starts giving you anxiety. The jittery, can't sit still, heart-racing kind. Most people who've crossed that threshold don't realize it. because they've been at that level so long it feels normal. Here's the double hit. Caffeine also depletes B1, so you're not just overstimulating your nervous system. You're simultaneously stripping away one of the key nutrients your nervous system needs to stay calm. It's a two-front attack on your mental state. And caffeine isn't the only stimulant worth examining. Certain medications carry stimulant properties that many people never connect to their anxiety. Weight loss pills, ADHD medications, some asthma medications, even certain over-the-counter cold medicines. If you read the side effects list of many common prescriptions, anxiety is right there, not as a rare side effect. As a common one, chocolate contains stimulant compounds too, theobromine and smaller amounts of caffeine. In moderation, not a problem. But if you're already B1 depleted, sleep-deprived, and riding blood sugar swings, that daily chocolate habit might be the thing that tips you over the edge. The pattern here is important. These causes don't exist in isolation. They stack. Blood sugar problems cause sleep problems. Sleep problems increase caffeine dependence. Caffeine depletes B1. B1 deficiency amplifies anxiety. Each one feeds the next in a vicious cycle. Number 5. Inadequate protein intake. This one connects directly back to the blood sugar piece, but it goes deeper than just fuel. Your body uses protein for far more than building muscle. Protein provides the amino acids that serve as raw materials for neurotransmitters. Serotonin, dopamine, GABA. These are the chemicals that regulate your mood, your sense of calm, your ability to feel okay in your own skin. Without sufficient amino acid intake, your body simply cannot produce enough of these compounds. You can meditate all you want. You can practice every breathing technique on the internet. If your body doesn't have the building blocks to make calming neurotransmitters, you're fighting biology with willpower. And biology wins every time. This is particularly relevant for people following plant-based diets. Plants contain protein, but the amino acid profiles are often incomplete, and the bioavailability is significantly lower than animal sources. Many people who switch to vegetarian or vegan diets feel great initially, often because they've cleaned up processed food at the same time. But over months or years, the amino acid deficit accumulates. Mood starts to shift. Anxiety creeps in. Energy drops. When these individuals reintroduce quality animal protein, eggs, fish, red meat, the change in mental state can be dramatic. Mood lifts. The anxious edge softens. Sleep improves. Not because of some placebo effect, but because their biochemistry finally has what it needs to function properly. The clue is the same as the others. Does your anxiety improve when you eat a protein-rich meal? If it does, your body is telling you exactly what it needs. Listen to it. So here's the bottom line. 5 physical causes: blood sugar instability, sleep deprivation, B1 deficiency, stimulant overload, inadequate protein. Not one of them shows up on a standard anxiety questionnaire. Not one of them gets addressed by a prescription for SSRIs. And every single one of them is fixable, without medication, without therapy, without spending thousands of dollars you don't have. The real question isn't whether these apply to you. It's how many of them apply to you simultaneously. Because for most people dealing with unexplained anxiety, it's not just one. It's 2 or 3 stacked on top of each other, each one making the others worse. Start with blood sugar. Cut the refined carbs and sugar. Eat quality protein and healthy fats. Give it 2 weeks. If your anxiety drops, you've got your answer. Then layer in proper sleep habits, a B1 supplement, and an honest audit of your stimulant intake. These are simple interventions. They're not glamorous. They don't come in a branded package. But they work because they address what's actually happening inside your body, instead of just masking the symptoms. If this changed how you think about anxiety, subscribe. We break down what the mainstream health industry won't tell you every single week. Because the answers are usually simpler than they want you to believe. They're just not as profitable.